Karen's antics had always escalated in predictable increments, small nuisances turning into full-blown chaos. But this time, she decided to strike while I was away. I had returned early from a week-long trip, expecting a quiet evening at the ranch, only to discover that the power had been cut. At first, I assumed a technical fault, but my security system immediately alerted me. Someone had manually tampered with the main power lines. A quick check of the cameras confirmed my worst suspicion, Karen. She had accessed the power junction near the driveway, ostensibly using HOA authority to shut down my electricity, claiming it was an illegal modification. Meanwhile, she had called 911, reporting that someone was on the property unlawfully and needed to be arrested. I drove up, the sun sinking behind the hills, the ranch cloaked in twilight. Karen, clipboard in hand, was standing by the junction, gesturing frantically at her phone. "You can't be here. You're violating HOA rules. The authorities are coming." I pulled out my tablet, showing the property records, electrical permits, and prior correspondence with the county. "Karen, this is private property. The power modifications are fully legal and inspected. You are trespassing and committing property sabotage. Step away now." She laughed, nervously this time. "No, you can't override HOA authority. The law is on my side." At that moment, my daughter and I were joined by local deputies. She saw the flashing lights and turned pale. The deputies calmly approached, reviewing my documentation and the security footage. "Ma'am," one said, "you have been caught interfering with private property, tampering with essential utilities, and filing false reports with emergency services. You will need to come with us." Karen's protests grew frantic. "This is harassment. I'm enforcing community rules." The deputies, unimpressed, began escorting her toward their vehicles. The federal utility inspectors I had pre-alerted arrived shortly after, confirming that the power modifications were entirely legal, safe, and fully registered. Karen's actions now carried potential felony charges for interference with utility systems, in addition to her repeated harassment citations. With Karen secured, my daughter and I restored the ranch power. Lights flickered back on, pumps started, and the security system hummed reassuringly. My home, barns, and perimeter cameras were all fully operational again. By nightfall, Karen was being booked for multiple offenses: trespassing, false emergency reporting, and tampering with critical infrastructure. Her HOA allies had vanished, leaving her completely isolated. I sat on the porch, watching the stars reflect off the ranch ponds. The lights from the barn and house shone like beacons, a reminder that preparation, documentation, and readiness always prevail against interference. Karen had tried to manipulate the situation to make it appear as though I was the trespasser, cutting my utilities and summoning law enforcement. Instead, she had handed me undeniable evidence of her wrongdoing, escalated her own legal jeopardy, and solidified the ranch's security. The lesson was once again clear. When hubris meets preparation, hubris always loses. Karen had thought she could intimidate, disrupt, and control. She learned, painfully, publicly, and definitively, that my ranch, my rules, and my authority were untouchable.